I cannot sing, but Ieva, she can. And we need to talk about Lithuania's first rehearsal. Are you ready? Let's do this! This was touching, this was moving, and this was very sweet. She took simple lights and used them to great effect. This is much stronger than in the Lithuanian national selection. At the time, I thought it was a little boring, to be honest, but now she manages to do amazing things. At one point, she walks across a bridge, and behind her, they illuminate the stage. It's like she's walking to heaven. The stage looks immense, ginormous, but that voice cuts through all of it. It was just really touching. Her husband and her rub noses on the bridge. He appears out of nowhere. They also were testing on-screen graphics of babies, young couples, and elderly couples. For now, they're just cutouts, so we can't judge the quality, but I have a feeling in the second rehearsal it will be very nice renderings of people. They're just testing the water. She sounded amazing. This is a real dark horse to qualify, and maybe even, I don't want to say top 10 in the final, but this could surprise people. It could really surprise people.
I think this should 100% be in top 10 in the final. It made me cry. So, like, genuinely, I thought it was incredibly beautiful. I think that she has such a frailty to her voice, and it just comes across so beautifully in that performance. I kind of like the juxtaposition. You've got these massive people, like the massive cutouts of people. Yes, they need to, if they made it a bit more opaque or just something to do with that, that would be really nice, but it's kind of nice because she's so tiny and then she's got that amazing voice against these massive cutouts. It's just that nice juxtaposition. I'm not a huge fan of what she was wearing necessarily. It was like a bit of a just weird cardigan. I imagine she'll be wearing that white dress we've seen so often before, because that really works for her. I just thought it was beautiful, and I genuinely think it's the best one that we've seen so far for me. I think that this should be 100% top 10. I think it should be top 5.
Thank you.
Well, the staging was lovely. The cutouts, not so much.
No.
I think they're too tacky. I think they're unnecessary. The song is in English. It's got a universal message. You get the picture. You don't need these black and white images of grannies and babies and whatnot. And they're really giant. And I think they take away from the power and the message that she's trying to convey, because it's nearly just like a scrapbook and somebody's thrown them there. And she sings very well, it's all very nice and sweet, but my problem is the song, because a Eurovision winning song, it takes you places.
Yeah.
This is very, very flat. She does very well with it, she sings it very nicely. It would be a lovely album track. I don't see it as a competitive song because it's just, it deadlines. It's just like the journey from her as a young person to an old person, it doesn't go anywhere. Nothing happens in her journey.
And it's not like she met her man when she was a baby.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I don't get that image.
I think it's meant to be like love, you know, it can start from a young age, it can go when you're old. You will always have love, even if, and just the message that she wants to get across. I just think that it works. I just really do. And I think that, you know, last year, but Salvador, you wouldn't think that was necessarily competitive.
But Salvador's, see, the structure of the song is my issue, that it's just the same thing over, that there's nothing happens in the song. The movement, the progression comes thanks to the staging, that she stops sitting on the floor, she gets up and goes on the bridge. And I think that a lot of the time, in the past, Lucy Jones, Artsvik, we've been won over by the staging when the studio versions have been not the most exciting things in the world, and the staging suddenly been like, this is a winner.
Yeah.
And I think that this could potentially be that, because you need to have the staging and you need to have the competitive song, and I don't think she has the competitive song. She's a fabulous singer, she's a wonderful personality, but I just don't think the song is a winning song.
On those cutouts, it reminds me of an advertisement for an assisted living home or a nursing home. Like, my mother is looking at those right now, is why. It feels out of place. I think she is so strong and the lighting scheme is so strong, they don't need that. Let her be the focus, and then I would be less distracted. And I also think that actually, yes, the song is linear. It progresses in a linear way, as we always say. But I think because everything else in this competition has so many ups and downs, it helps her stand out. I take your point that some people will be put off, but I think other people will be very touched. And right now, I'm kind of leaning towards you, actually, because There was something about it very memorable visually, in addition to her voice.
I think that compared particularly with what will come immediately before her and after her, Czech Republic and Israel, I think this stands out. It's just like a nice, serene 3 minutes. Not necessarily competitive in structure, but I think that this actually, the message and the story it gives, and I think the cutouts work at telling the story. I really do. And I think that just that message will touch so many people who have either lost somebody that they love or are in love with somebody. I think that just really gets it across. And there's that moment where she goes, "If you leave, I would." And then there's just that pause. And that's what gets me every time.
I think a lot of it could come down to what Ireland do with their staging, because they have a similarly slow song that people are calling a dark horse, and it's got a similar message that they're going to be telling the story of a love story and romance. And I think that, like, usually only one of a certain type of song gets through, so I think it could come down to something like that, how Ireland do it tomorrow or whenever they're on.
Well, that's what we saw. Let us know what you think here on wiwibloggs.
Make sure to leave a like.
And subscribe.
We'll see you later. Bye!